it is the Roman terminology that we get salary from.
Right.
Salary comes from salarium.
Yeah.
What is salary? Salary is a portion of the wages given so that there is what? People could get salt. Salary came from salt. It was just so that you apportion the wages so that it goes into buying salt. Because salt was equally as gold.
Wow. Interesting.
Right?
Yeah. Keep
So,
going.
where are they getting this salt? Where are they trading this salt? Where the ancient trading of salt? Right?
What if one of history's greatest forgotten stories has been hidden in plain sight? What if the so-called lost tribes of the Bible have been among us all along? Join a global conversation exploring the historical, cultural, linguistic, scientific, and biblical evidence that the Abantu, the people scattered throughout Africa, the Americas, and the nations, are the authentic descendants of the ancient biblical Israelites. Our identity is not founded on religion, but on lineage, ancestral continuity, culture, language, and nationhood. Our mission is truth, restoration, reconciliation, and spiritual awakening according to the scriptures. Bring your knowledge, bring your research, bring your scholarship, join the conversation, subscribe to Bantu Biblical Israelites. The awakening has begun.
Would you like to walk in the appointed times of the Most High? Download the Bantu Biblical Calendar app, free at www.bantu.biblicalcalendar.com.
I think first, the definition of the promised land
Yes.
is we have to define things properly.
Okay.
Remember, Keturah
Mm-hmm.
and what do you call it? Keturah and Ishmael, right? God gave this promise before Ishmael came into the picture in Keturah.
Yes.
Right? So when you read again, Joshua 14:15, there's regions, right, that tell you. So if you have a piece of property and I subdivide it to one corner, doesn't mean you're not in the property.
Right.
Because there's a fixation of a specific area that people think it's called the promised. This is the promised, this is the area. But God gave them boundaries. When you go to buy land, you have to, there are beacons. And these beacons are things we see. There are regions given as far as Seba or Saba in Ethiopia. Right? So again, we have to understand this ideology, people are looking for one specific spot, is wrong.
Right. Okay.
Two, as far as the concern of Tanzania, we didn't have these boundaries called Tanzania or Kenya.
Right.
So again, we divide and conquer is the wrong mentality. This region didn't have these divisions and borderlines the way we know them as today.
Yeah.
So because then it will pit us against Kenyans versus Tanzanians.
I can see that.
If Kenyans have Mount Sinai or Tanzania have Mount Sinai, Kenya will now start fighting over Mount Zion. You see, now it breeds competition.
I see that.
Yeah. So this is the wrong mindset because we are united. There are not 12 tribes of Israel. Your brother is not another tribe.
Yeah, it's still the same tribe, the same people. So yeah, it doesn't matter.
So how do you call another people? Yeah, so it's the unity that they're after. When you call your brother tribe, it's wrong. It's your brother.
Yeah.
You come from the same father. You're not a different tribe.
Yeah.
Tribe means different, right?
Yeah. But
So
I think what I
Now
was
going back
referring
to
to when I said
Mm.
Tanzania, because that's what you said, but also because not to say that it's independent of Kenya or independent. I was speaking in terms of the land mass, like whether it's
yes,
pre-colonial or post-colonial, just the land that you found. The location is within modern Tanzania. That's the word. And then so from that land, it doesn't matter whether it's in whether it so happened to be in modern Tanzania, but obviously it's less about Tanzania and more about the geographic in the geographical location of
yes.
the mountain. And I think those are important for people to know that the difference between the two. And so when I was asking whether you're referring that to be outside of the promised land or within the promised
No,
land,
it's
because
within.
also the Bible
It's
does
within.
provide the boundaries of the promised land. I think it does that in Numbers and Ezekiel.
Yeah, it's also in Joshua when Joshua was told when they crossed over
Yes.
and then the people were given the different lands. You
Hmm.
see Judah and all these other people given
Yeah.
all this land.
Yeah.
So people are in I think most of sub-Saharan is in the promised land.
Okay. So you think
So
Sinai is potentially within the promised land to
it
your
was
eye?
in the garden.
It was? Okay.
Huh?
So that means it was in the promised land, I mean, or at least in the land of Shem. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
So it is in the land of Shem.
Okay. Okay, that's very
Two, I'm
interesting.
not,
Mm-hmm.
people might misunderstand. I'm gonna give you the name, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't want people to be fixated on just like the area without understanding the context.
Yes, yes, I agree.
Because then people will start having debates without the background, the context. Remember, like what I gave as an example of
Mm-hmm.
if I call someone in the States, you're my dog,
Mm-hmm.
right? In
Yeah,
Kenya, it's different because you don't have understanding of the context.
that's true.
So, in as much as I'll give you the name, it's the mountain of God in Tanzania,
Mm-hmm. And
right?
mhm.
Culturally, it's called
And
Oldonyo
before you
Lengai.
even say the name of this mountain, I would also like to tell our audiences that uh, I think it's regardless of how much information Brother Mutavi shared with us today. I think there's so much. I'm sure what he's sharing with us is only a snippet of what's in the book that I think I would personally as an author, I wouldn't like somebody to hold me at one word that I said and said without looking at the full picture of what I'm trying to say. And so I would encourage people, please go get Brother Mutavi's book and understand what he's trying to share with us. What is he? Because I think we all, the Most High give us knowledge and insight in different parts. And like the Bible says, we all know in part and we prophesy in part. And both of all of our knowledge is what bring the puzzle together. So to be able to understand Brother Mutavi's point to a broader, to the general, like really what is he trying to say, I think you won't get that from a 1 hour video. You'll be able to get that from something that he's sat down and written for I don't know how many years he was working on that content. So yeah, thank you, brother. Continue on.
So when you look at the scriptures, you don't find the supporting evidence in one book. You don't find it in Exodus. You find it not only in Exodus, you find it in Deuteronomy, you find
Mhm.
in Ezekiel, you
Okay.
find in Amos, you find it in Elijah, right? So
Yes.
there are all these supporting evidences of these places, whether
Mhm.
it's Moab, whether it's Aror, whether it's uh, Kilha, whether it's Judea, all these places have to have supporting
Yes.
evidence because God does not lie.
That's true. Absolutely.
Once we have that intellectual and spiritual integrity of understanding, God
Mhm.
does not lie,
Yes.
then we should check all these scriptures and see if they back up what is written. If they
Right.
don't back up, then it's a problem. So you can look up the name, the mountain of God. They call it Oldoinyo Lengai.
All right. It's called Oldoino Lengai.
Yes,
So that means mountain god.
yes.
Okay.
So if you have Niragongo, I've seen Niragongo, I've seen the map.
Yes.
How then do you support it to have this information? How
Right.
do you back up? What scriptures does God give us so
Right.
that we can be sure? Otherwise, we'll be deceived again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, well, generally speaking, yeah, it's
Right?
important to have to get the full picture
You
of
got to
something.
have the full picture because God says He even came down in a thick cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the thick cloud evidence? I
Mm-hmm.
know where the thick cloud is. I can show where the Aaron's golden calf is, where
Mm-hmm.
they did that altar, where Moses' altar is. It's all in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the where Joshua and those guys had a fight with the Amalekites.
Mm-hmm.
So all this must be supported because what the risk of someone saying it's Jabal al-Waz, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
the same problem we had with Constantine and this guy, St. Helena, right?
Right.
Because she went and said, this is Mount Sinai,
Right. 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 Oh
but
yeah.
she didn't have any evidence
Yeah.
that to
So
back it up
yeah. Yeah. People were just making up, just as put the name things that
as
they.
you go.
Yeah.
Yes. And also, I'm not when I did the book, this was like in April, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are more than 50 people who bought the book, almost close. I think more than 50 people who bought the book. They know these things. They have the evidence or they know the mountain, what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that I don't know where these people are or who they are reading the book with. They're probably
Right.
saying, you look at this. They're
Mm-hmm.
spreading the information. So even though I'm telling you, go look at Oldoinyo Lengai, go
Mm.
look at Mount Sinai.
Yes.
Don't stop there. Go read the Bible. Go read the text.
Yes.
You might not buy my book. It's fine, but
Yes.
do yourself a favor. Read the scriptures.
Yes.
Confirm God does not lie.
That's right.
It's
So,
not my
mhm.
praise, it's God's praise, right?
Yeah.
Confirm God is not lying.
Yes,
Hmm?
yes. Definitely, I agree. At the end of the day, we have to, the source is the Mosai. If the Mosai says this, if
Yes,
what he read, with the knowledge, the information that he's provided in what we call the Bible today, that's the information that we have to use, almost to be able to find the truth within whether we're talking
yes,
about location, who are the people. The reason why we know we're Israelites who are black is because of what the Bible says. The reason why we know Israelites were Bantu people is because of the covenant, the traditions of these people. The reason why
yes,
all of these factors, to your point, even the location of anything, you need to use the scripture for that. But what the name that you
yes,
say, very interesting, you say Oldoinyo Lengai. That's a very
yes.
interesting
No,
name. To my understanding, it almost sounds like either if it's not Turkana, it's Masai, maybe the word, because I've came across these people a lot, and I'm kind of like trying to. Is this the word from the Masai people? If I'm mistaken.
yes. Now, the
Oh,
Masai currently occupy the area,
okay.
but before the Masai, it used to
Mhm.
be called Ngai Volcano, Ngai Mountain.
Oh, so Ngai Lengai. Okay, I see that.
No, Ngai Mountain.
Yeah,
That's how it's even recorded in most of the it's in most of the maps. It's Ngai Volcano.
I see.
So Oldoinyo Lengai is just the Maasai way.
Mm-hmm.
Ngai,
Got it.
before the Maasai, there were other people, the Bantus who used to live in the area. Some of them are called Sonjo or
All right.
Batemi
I
people.
see.
So they were there before, and the Batemi ethnography, anthropology, they document this
Okay.
from way back, right? And before that, there are other people.
They lived in
So
the
the
land.
Bantu people
Mm-hmm.
talk about that,
Interesting.
right? So this Oldoño Lenga is when the Maasai have moved into the
Yeah,
area.
it
Before the Maasai, it was called Ngai Volcano.
Ngai.
Ngai,
Yeah, because I
we
know.
just call it as a mountain, yeah.
Yeah, because I know Ngai in Kikuyu means the Mosai. It's the name of the Mosai, or what we normally
Even
say
Kamba,
Ngai. Yeah,
Kikuyu, yeah,
yeah.
a lot of other
Oh,
tribes, Bantu
okay.
tribes,
So
yes.
in a Masai, Lengai is also is the Mosai as well in their language. The
Yeah,
word the
it's
word
God,
Lengai.
yes.
So it seems like they might
Yeah.
have borrowed part of this word from either the Kikuyu or these tribes around that they found in the region already. Would you say
Now,
that?
goes back to, yes, goes back to who are the Masai.
Right, right. It's a good point. Yeah.
So unless you understand who the Masai are,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be defined by those things called Nilotes, Cushites,
Mm-hmm.
right? But without the actual definitions. Because if you said Nilotes, and people
Mm-hmm.
don't think about this,
Mm-hmm.
Nilot is two words, Nilote. So
Mm.
who was Lot? Who was Lot?
Okay.
Right?
So
So
wow. Okay.
there's a lot of hidden
Okay.
information.
Right, right.
And who are the children? I'll give you a clue. Who are the children of Ishmael? Who are
Mm.
the children of Keturah?
Keturah. Yeah, the five
Right?
sons. Yeah.
Yes. So you have Midi, what?
And people
Who was this? Yeah. So the
people don't talk
sons of
about this a
Ishmael.
lot. People don't talk about who are the sons of this. These are all bloodlines today, and they're all here with us today. They're all the children of
Yes.
Abraham. They're all here. Yeah. So that's
Yes.
interesting, interesting. But I found it fascinating just with the name of the mountain, and I think even everything you provided, the criteria that made this to be an evident point to be the Mount Sinai. I think
Mhm.
it gives curiosity for me. It just pushed me to like I want to go to Tanzania tomorrow if I could. But I want to go check this mountain out. Possibly even go with you over there to go see together. And but
Yes.
I'm curious. I think a lot of people are asking a lot of questions. I think I'm sure you're wondering, man. I've never heard of that mountain. It's the first time I hear this, man. Come on, it's not even famous. There's all kind of narratives. But I want to tell you guys who are listening, take the time,
Yeah.
right? Maybe preferably get the book and read what is this brother talking about, and then
Yes.
take your map, go explore. I think that's what we need to be doing. Travel to these locations. I think informations like this should be encouraging people to come to the motherland,
Yeah.
come to Africa, to travel within the continent to see what is the promised land looks like. What is the Mosai telling us? To live the experience of what our ancestors lived. So I
Yes.
want to ask you this question: when you first
Yes.
visited old Doinyo,
Mm.
Lengai, as you call it,
Yes.
the mountain of God or mountain of the Most High,
Yes.
what was the feeling for you when you first
Sorry?
visited this mountain? And
Yes.
got there at the bottom of the mountain. I don't know if you ever climbed there or not, but just when you got to this mountain, what was the feeling for you? How did you
I,
feel? This encounter? What was the experience for you?
one, you will understand that how you read the text and
Mm-hmm.
what's on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
the magnitude and the scale of
Mm-hmm.
things,
Yeah.
you will understand how many these people were because of the
Mm-hmm.
terrain.
Mm-hmm.
And you will just understand the supporting infrastructure.
I see.
You can't, when it says a plane, it's a plane. What they
Mm.
call Rafidim, what is Rafidim,
Mm.
right? They lie to you. They don't want you to know. Just look up the word Serengeti and Rafidim as an example,
Mm.
right? So you must understand that God does not lie. When you go to the ground, you will be awe-stricken because you will see the Bible in 5D, not 3D, 5D.
5D. Yes,
Yes.
I agree.
Now you will understand why Moses had to go to the mountain at night.
Mm.
You don't go to the mountain during the day. It's still volcanic. It's too hot for you.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. So is this mountain still active to this day?
Yes, it's
It
active.
is?
It's
Okay.
active. It's active.
Interesting.
And you can check the properties about it. It's the only kind of its mountain in the world.
Mm. Okay.
It's the only kind of mountain in the world which is active that produces the kind of volcano it does.
Wow. Can you share a bit more with us what this man,
Yeah,
basically?
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it produces something called nitrocarbonate. So when the lava, most mountains, when the lava cools, it's black. This
Mhm.
one cools and looks white. It looks like snow.
Oh, wow.
So people from far will think it's snow, but it's actually magma that has cooled and it's white. So when David talks about, I have seen the glory of
Mhm.
your hill, right?
Yes.
Or when Jubilees talks about it's in the middle of the desert. It's not desert, it's in the middle of the wilderness.
Hmm.
It's
So,
like the way you'd say Masai Mara, wilderness. It's the wild, right? So
right.
places which is not inhabited, like the way now you go to national parks and etc. Right?
What does
So
Masai Mara mean?
it's just, like Mara means, like spotted plains or dotted plains, right?
Okay. Interesting.
So this is just a foundational thing. You have to, there's so much evidence
Hmm.
that, if you are a prosecutor and you are up against God, you wouldn't even be able to talk because the evidence is overwhelming. Because
Yes.
God has evidence. Everything he said, it is there.
Providing
The
evidence.
rock of Horeb, even the watermarks are there.
Wow. Okay.
The
Man,
hole, the hole at the top of the rock of Horeb is there. The
Mhm.
cave that Elijah came to is there.
Okay, let's go to Tanzania then.
You see?
The one thing I love Tanzania about, and it's not just I'm not saying about the country Tanzania, but the land of Tanzania is that it's very fertile. It's got so much, like it's, and if you've been to Tanzania, you know what I'm saying in terms of the harvest is massive. It's more significant than any place
Yeah.
than most other places I've visited.
Plan accordingly,
So,
plan with the weather,
yes, yeah.
plan with the, yes, plan accordingly because when you go, you need to understand where it is, the distances. It's not, it's massive.
It's massive.
It's the distances are huge.
Yes,
You're
and
not gonna go around the mountain the way people think one day. There's even footprints
interesting. So
that
you
is
want to
recorded,
spend
and it's
enough
also in
time in the
scripture.
region to actually explore all of
Yeah,
the things.
don't think about like 1, 2 days. It's gonna take like 4 days,
And
really.
I think one thing that always people forget when they visit Africa, when they visit these sites, right, these locations, we as a people, we are very spiritual people. Black people are very spiritual people. Bantu people are
Yes.
spiritual people. So I think when you go to any location, it's very important that you even pray. I would even encourage you to do a fast and pray before visiting sites like that because you don't know what energy is out there now. You don't know what's out there. Because you're
Mhm.
going to a new location, new experience, and it's a territory.
Yeah.
Most of this stuff. What you notice is most of the locations that the Most High used, right? When you read modern science, modern spiritualities, they still use those very locations for their own other spiritual
Yes.
encounters.
Yeah.
And so I believe that it's important that even as we visit these locations, that we actually pray and fast before traveling to them and
Oh
exploring.
yeah. I would think, I mean, people have already a heads up.
Mm.
When God said consecrate yourself for 3 days or 2 days, Moses, it's not a lie. There are places you shouldn't go if you're not, because you know might come after you. There are things that might happen to you or against you.
Hmm.
It's
That's
not that God was telling them because he was like not sensible. He was just trying to give them a heads up,
hmm
right? So
yeah.
I would tend, even some of these places before you go climb or do other things, remember the covenant is with us. It's
Uh,
not with other people.
it's not, and it's not in the
So
mountain.
so to whom much is given,
Much
much
is
is
required.
tested.
Yes. You
Yes,
know,
because when you go there, your blood is your blood,
yes, and so when
the
you so
seed
when you
of
go
Abraham.
there, when you go there, don't be going there to worship a mountain either. because this is just a mountain. It's not, it won't save you. The mountain will not save you. It's the Most High that will save you. But this is
Yes.
knowledge and information that we need because the Bible said the truth will set us free. So it's important that you
Yeah.
find the truth first, and then the Most High
And
will
there's all
help.
supporting evidence.
Mhm.
There is where the region where Moses was told to take off his feet, shoes, and all those things.
It's all there.
This is not yet public knowledge, yes. This
I
is not
think
yet public knowledge.
I almost want to keep this video secret because I don't want them to find it and go and go call it and brand it a UNESCO site so they can limit our people from accessing. That's what
Oh
they do
yeah,
a lot
yeah,
with a lot
yeah.
of location
Plus the pricing.
in the land.
Plus
Is
the
it
pricing is crazy.
okay? I can see
So
that they already know, so they put the price up so people don't have access
yes.
to it. Man, oh wow,
It's not, I mean, the way
yeah.
they've structured it, it's you have to be clever about it, how you go visit the place.
Hmm.
Because even the locals, when I visited, we discovered some things the government is not willing to disclose.
Mm. Wow,
Yeah.
that's
And
that's
some of the lead researchers are not even African. Some people are from Germany.
no surprise at all about that. Because I've visited a few locations where it's the same issue. Like you find some the Ish people, right? Or they're the one doing the
Yes.
research. They are the one running the research in a location that is central to Bantu people, and even we don't have access to those locations. To be able to have access, you have to go through like all kind of, and I can imagine the
Yes.
Mara. The Mara region is probably one of the because of the national migration. Because isn't the Mara where we find the world largest animal migration happens around that region too. Around this
Why
Mara
do you
region.
think God gave us those? Why do you think God left these animals to be migrating? Because
Hmm.
God was just telling, you see how these people were wandering here, back and
Right,
forth?
right.
It's the same. I'm just leaving them for years for you
Coming
to
back
see.
home.
They cross over, then they cross back. All these
Mhm.
40 years, this
Oh,
migration has been happening for centuries.
they're still
They
doing the
cross the river, they cross.
migration, man.
Yes, the Great Migration.
Okay, okay. Now that hits the point. I think
The
you've shared
eighth
a lot of.
wonder of the world.
Come again?
Yeah.
Yes,
They
it
call
is.
it the eighth wonder or something wonder of the world, right?
Yeah, that. It shouldn't even be the eighth. It should be that's the largest animal migration in the world. So which means it should everybody's. You know how much why people pay so expensive to go to the Mara is because of this experience. It's extremely expensive, and people play for balloon
Yes.
experiences and all the other kind of stuff. But I think for me, when I go there, I would definitely want to go and explore it's all our land, but I think it's important now that since you've said that word, the name of the location. I will. I think that's stuck with me now. Now, when I think about Tanzania, I just want to go to all Doinyo,
Yeah.
Lengai, just to see what's the Mosai, because all of this land, whether I agree with you that that's the location of Mount Sinai, that's still the location of, it's still our land. It still has
Yes.
significance extremely to our awakening,
Yeah.
so
And the other one, the one in Kenya, the migration in Kenya is not the biggest. Most people don't know that.
mhm. Yes,
The
yes,
one in the Sud, the one in the South Sudan, the Sud area is the biggest.
I've had that too. I've had that, and
Yes.
and,
So
and,
you
and
see the migration, it's the same concept. These people cross the Nile, then they came, then they're here. It's still the biggest migrations. God is giving us clues. Hey, look, I left this hint for you, and I
mhm.
left this other one for you. Yeah.
Interesting. Yes.
So you will
You're
see a lot.
mhm.
Yeah.
So why do you believe this information was do you think this information was forgotten or misunderstood, or was it intentionally ignored over time to keep us asleep?
I think for three reasons.
Hmm.
One, in my view, it's three
Hmm.
reasons.
Yes.
One, uh, the biggest thing they want people to know or not to, the biggest big thing they don't want people to know is when you have proof of the land, you have proof of the people.
Mm.
And then people will get back to what? The covenant.
Yeah. And they
They don't
work
want people to
on
keep the covenant because the covenant is the game changer. It's the
yeah.
laws. It's
Hmm.
just the laws.
Governing
It's the
law. Yeah.
covenant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we keep the laws, if we keep the commandments, we change the game. We now can be a great nation
Because the laws are
above
when
all
you
people.
yeah, I can see that because the laws are the laws of the Mosai's law of his land, his promises, and so
Yes,
if we know what
everything.
season is what time of the year is what feasts, what how to what not to do, not to spill blood, and not to do this and that, then we are actually living according to the when you live according to the law, you live according to the land, and you get to actually eat the fruits of the land. So the laws and then you become the head. So the Bible says you will become the head because, and not the tail. The only way you become the head is by keeping the laws. And the laws is what makes you, it will elevate you because it puts you at a higher, position because you understand the land, you know how to work with the land, you know how to harvest. And when it sees like, so the problem is people have often is when people believe that the land is over there, you know, and so they are observing a time because the one thing that most people have in argument with with the location, why I believe location is very important, is because once you know where the location is, the primary factor as Bantu people are known for farming, for agriculture. So you want if you don't know where the land is, you'll be farming in an opposite time to the land that you're supposed to the original timing of farming. But when you understand the location, this is the location of the land, like kind of how you're explaining the when the Egyptians know call the great event, when the flood come into Egypt because again it's significant to them, but then it explains why they call this source of the Nile the holies of holies, right? To your point, to your very point, why Mount Sinai is around this closer to these very locations, because to the ancient Egyptians they received water from water which is life,
Yes,
right, from this very location.
yes.
So it's these are very powerful points that actually makes you become. That's why the truth sets you free, and that's why when you know the truth, that's why you become free enough to free yourself, free enough to rely on yourself, free enough to trust in the Father, and free enough to elevate you and your bloodline to the level that the Most High has set for you. And I think the lack of
Mm.
knowledge, we can see what it get people, and we can see, we can, when we look around us, our people who are stuck in this in the religions and just this make believe, and we can see how dangerous it is not to know the truth as opposed to knowing it.
Oh,
You know,
when it says the kingdom is within you,
right,
because once you start keeping the laws,
right,
the Sabbath, etc.,
word,
God, it says in John that Jesus says he will come and manifest,
mm-hmm.
dwell.
Right,
So when God comes, he opens up your mind to know what is it that he put in you,
mm-hmm.
Batakane, for you to dominate.
Right,
You
right,
see,
right.
a bird will not compete with a lion to be a lion, or a lion will
Never,
not compete with a dog to be a dog.
never, yeah. Everybody has
Because the lion will live the best version of the lion. But
yes,
now, if you're taught to compete with the dog, you're a lion barking like a dog,
right.
security dog.
Yeah, it's a mock. It's a joke.
Yes.
So
But when you discover your
the
lioness,
lion.
and why,
Mhm.
yeah, you dominate. The lion is
That's
the
so true.
king of the jungle.
And to your point, regardless of how long the lion has lived like a dog, the soon the
Yes.
lion realizes a lion,
Hey,
things change.
that's, yeah, it's
Everything
over. It's
changes.
over. Game
You know.
over.
And I think that's what the
Yeah.
Great Awakening is all about. But just some few questions to I know
Yeah.
you've definitely shared quite a mouthful of information, and definitely appreciate you for all that, for being here. But if your just a question, if your conclusions are correct, and I think and people would, the information in your book
Yeah.
would decide that. What does this mean for Africa's place in the biblical history because growing up we had this Simon, the one that took the cross of Jesus, was black, was African, Jesus fled to Africa to hide, so Africans are not that useless, so they always have us like on a like almost like we are this outside story outside of the Bible. And it was one day that Jesus miraculously went to Egypt, and so that's Africa. And Moses, oh yeah, Moses fled to Cush, which is Africa. They say this, and then they will tell you Cush is in Middle East, and then there's all that switch back and forth to make us feel a little better about ourselves, but by really depriving us of the raw information. And so you defining the migration coming into the land, because there's two narratives. There's people that claim that the land that Jesus only came to Africa for a little bit. Moses only lived in Africa in Egypt, Kush for a little bit, and then all that stuff. But then there's also a narrative of people that believe that Africa was only the place that the Israelites fled to after the 70 AD to be able to hide there. And this actually believe most Hebrews that believe this concept, most African American Hebrews that believe this concept, that Africa was only this place where our ancestors fled to. And from here, they were taken into the four corners. And so it's almost like Africa is always left as this, like it always removed from the
Yeah.
actual event, from actually being from the center of all that happened. So what would be your take? What would be your take on that? How would you think your book or your information would change the shape of that or the narrative?
One, most people who've read the book have
Mhm.
had to read it twice or three times
I don't doubt it.
because of one, they
Mhm.
just don't believe we've been fooled for this long.
You're right.
And two, what it means, it's a power move, it's a power shift.
Mhm.
Because woe unto them when a slave becomes a king. They know that,
Mm. 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 Yeah.
right? It not only tells people in the world that Africans are the seed, Bantu are the seed of God.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
it
Right. Right.
changes
Right.
your whole self-image of
Mhm.
billion people,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
And then they start and look at, oh, now let me start doing what God said I do,
Right.
because this system doesn't work. That changes everything for us as Africans. All these solutions we are looking for economy, for all these things are here.
Mhm.
I mean, all these things have hidden the colonization effect. I can tell
Mhm.
you for free. Once people get this, they get Sinai. The next thing I know, they will get Jordan because I know where the Jordan is. I know where Gilgal is. I know
Mhm.
where they will circumcise. I even know where the tools are, where they
Mhm.
circumcise them.
Right.
They
And
will now get to Jericho and all these places, right?
mhm.
The story changes. You can't lie to people all this time. Then
Yeah.
now people will start
Yeah.
looking at things like
Mhm.
ancient Near East. All the artifacts in the museums of ancient Near East, they're
Right.
all from here.
They're all from here, and I think so now with people knowing that, right? There's also this narrative, right? The people, what would you say about the narrative of people who believe that that Africa, which I think from your narrative, the way you shared today, it seemed like you don't only believe the Bantu are the Israelites. You believe in your research, you believe that not only because everybody always talk about Israelites and that's it. Now, always Israelites and nobody talks about anything. Even when people begin talking about anything, really, it's almost like it's non-African. But to your point, it seems
Yes.
like Lot is African, which is descendant. It seems like all the children of Shem, Abraham, and everybody, they are all just African people, and they are all still here. So to me, that's changed the narrative because the most of the Hebrew Israelites awakening lead people to believe that only emphasize talking about the 12 tribes, which you say they are not really tribes; they're just family of the same people.
Yes.
But then you talk about when you try to elaborate on the other nations that are also within the land, the landmass. So which it's not, because there's all this narrative that the Moabites, that the Amorites, that these are nations in Asia. So but this is the concept of people that believe that the land is over there. So they are looking for the Iran, the Aramai, all of the
Mhm.
Arameans and all these people. They
Yes.
are all over there. They are Syrians, Ashurians, whatever you could call them. But then you seem
Yeah.
like your narrative is bringing this information back to the land, back home. What would you say would be you'll be a take on these people? So how would you like these people to approach this information that you're sharing that really looks different?
There's no,
Throw them off
yeah.
entirely.
There's nothing. There's nothing outside Africa. There's nothing outside Africa.
Mm.
Everything you see, whatever they call ancient Near East, Philistines, all these Syria, Turkey, they're all here. We
Okay.
have people called the Iraqi in
Mhm.
Tanzania,
Right.
right?
Really?
Where Iraqi come from,
Iraqi
right?
as in
So,
they're black?
yeah, they call Iraqi. They speak a language called Wairaki.
Interesting.
So why do we have this? We know the people. We know the people of Moab. They're in Kenya. They still
Mhm.
do fire things,
Mhm.
right?
Interesting.
So we know the land, their land. So when people start looking into this, you can go into the rabbit hole. That's
Mhm.
one thing.
Mhm.
But you can also choose to listen to what God was saying. That's a bigger picture. God was
Mhm.
saying, keep the laws. You keep the
Mhm.
laws, you see a different system.
Right, right. Because knowing the truth is only the surface level. That's literally the first surface level, and then you have
Obedience.
to the
Obedience is
truth.
better than sacrifice.
The application of the truth is another step, and then there's before you become free, really free, there's steps to it. And knowledge, no
Yes.
finding knowledge is the first step. It's not even the middle one.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
definitely agree with you on that, and I think people should be aware of that, as they're even asking questions or seeking information. But there's another point that I would just want you to share, so people would ask this in the comments maybe, or concern about it,
Yes.
is the
Mhm.
concept of when people talk about, how when during the in the book of in right in the beginning of the, whether we talk about the book of Maccabees or right in the
Mhm.
beginning of the book of Matthew, like when right around the birth of Jesus, we're told that Judea was under occupation of the Romans, right? I mean, in my understanding, obviously, okay, being under occupation doesn't necessarily mean the Romans were present or they were present or not. But there's a group of people that would argue with you, would argue with you that they would ask you, where is the presence of the Romans? If really this
Oh,
is the
yeah.
land,
Yeah.
where is the presence of the Romans in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
land? Because the Romans were never in, because European history teaches that the Roman came to Africa, but they only stopped in Ethiopia and Egypt, and they
That's
never
a
touched
biggest
any
lie.
any other land.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
This is such a
What would
big
you tell them?
lie.
Yeah.
First of all,
Hmm.
we go back to the thing I said before, definition of terms.
Yes.
Look at the word Romans,
Hmm.
right? The word Romans doesn't mean white. This is plagiarism.
I can
This
agree.
is just Romans would means lighter variation of the pigmentation. So if you are like me, and then there's someone who's lighter, like an Ethiopian currently, the
Hmm.
Ethiopians are lighter
The
skinned
modern
than me.
Ethiopian. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is the what I would yes. So how would you this is all, and you see the thing that they're trying to hide, how you can get them is look at the artifacts. The
Hmm.
artifacts that say, because all these places, whether it's Edom, Petra, is in Tanzania.
Hmm.
The definition of terms is what people do not know. For example, when I say there is when these guys came to fight, they stood at the gate. People are waiting to see a gate that you open like this, right?
Right. Right.
A
Right.
gate is not that way. The gate is like a hill where you can't come through because these people would be at the top and would be able to arrow you down. So,
Right.
definition of terms. The Romans are not white. That is a big. Look at the coins.
Hmm.
The coins for the Romans
The
had
ancient Romans,
people.
yeah,
The guy who 70 AD, he had curly hair. He had the lions.
that's true.
Where do the lions stay in Rome?
Hmm.
What do
There's a
they
lot of
eat?
books that agree with that, with the fact that the ancient
Right.
Europeans were
So
not.
then you go into the scriptures. I think it's Acts 27, verse 41,
Hmm.
right? When Paul is coming, he's been taken from Jerusalem, and then he gets on a ship, and then they get a shipwreck,
Hmm.
right? It says clearly, the shipwrecked where the
Right.
two seas meet. Where do seas meet?
Mm.
There are only three places or so where the seas meet. And if he was coming from Jerusalem, it even gives you further description. When they sail on the boat, the wind was against them.
Mm.
You only need to look where the winds blow. The winds in East Africa go a certain direction. The winds in the Atlantic go, because it's cold. This one is warm. The winds go a certain direction,
Mm.
right? So if you're going on the Atlantic, the wind is going up. If you're on the Indian Ocean, the wind is going down.
And where do they meet?
So if they are gained,
A good question.
yeah. So where do the seas meet? The seas meet
Mm.
in the Cape, Southern Africa.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
other one is up there, Morocco, Gibraltar.
Yes.
And the other one, it's there in the north, whatever place, up there in Greenland or something. So there are no two seas they meet. And if they're coming from Jerusalem, why would they go from Israel all the way to Gibraltar, then go back to Rome? It
Hmm.
doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make
You see,
sense. So your
the
argument
word
is
Roman,
Romans were
the
black
Romans are black,
and they were
of
in
course.
Africa, but not as white
Yeah,
people. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, okay.
100%.
Yeah, and I think these scholars have proved I've tried to prove this in terms of like Sheikh and Job and the rest of the scholars
Yes,
have tried to prove that Africa was always involved. It's just that through the
yes,
Renaissance, Africa was cut out of history just to make to make it look like Africa is a
yeah,
dark continent, as they like to describe it. But then
yeah,
Africa was because there's books that prove that the Moorish
yeah,
people ruled over Europe for many years. There's books that prove even that even prior to that, all the gods of the Europeans were actually black. Because clearly, to your point, the Europeans at the time were also black. That's why because you cannot worship something that doesn't look like you, unless you're
yeah,
colonized, like most of
yeah.
Africans are. Um, but I agree with you that so that's a very interesting point that you say that the the evidence is Romans were oppressed.
And once people start, I mean, I won't be able to stop it or anything because once you get the landmark and you start connecting these dots, all I have to do is like teach one or two people to see how to connect the dots
And it's
because everything is there.
it's ridiculous
It's
that
there,
people
everything.
it's silly that people will claim that the Romans who conquered we are told that the Romans and the Greek conquered the world. I guess to them the world does not include Africa. And then they will, after
Yeah,
saying that, then they will claim that they came to Egypt and Ethiopia. And then I'm like, we know that most of these Romans and the Greeks were looking for minerals. They were not just going to the land to just, most of the minerals are south of that. So are you
yes.
telling me that these Romans who are looking for resource for minerals to steal and plunder, they came across, they came to Kenya, they came to Ethiopia and they stopped there. They didn't go to the
Let me give
Gold
you even
Coast.
an easier
They didn't
one.
go to the Congo. They did not go to South
Mm,
Africa. That's
I'll
ridiculous.
give
That
you an
makes no sense.
easier
And,
one.
and is there any border? Is there any border there that limited them to cross it over? Like what stop? It's kind of like how they say ancient Egyptians were not black because there was there a wall to keep Egyptians from
What?
meeting with the other people in the continent. So
These
anyway,
guys
yeah,
will
go on.
lie through their teeth. Let me
Yeah.
give you an example. When you said the minerals, it's a very good point
Yes.
because it is the Romans terminology that we get salary from, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Salary comes from salarium.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is salary? Salary is a portion. of the wages given so that there is what? People could get salt.
Mm.
Salary came from salt. It was
Mm.
just so that you apportion the wages so that it goes into buying salt. Because salt was equally as gold,
Wow. Interesting.
right?
Yeah. Keep
So,
going.
where were they getting this salt?
Mm.
Where were they trading this salt?
Mm.
Where the ancient trading of salt, right?
Oops. Yeah, that.
So what
Mm.
were they using to use? What were they using to for the salt? Because salt preserves food.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
think of it, you don't have a fridge, you don't have electricity,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So what
Mm.
are you gonna you need this? This is the new currency to keep your food so that you don't have to go hunting every day,
And
right?
that's wow, wow. So the Romans, if they use salt, then they got salt somewhere. Where did they get most of the salt from that would satisfy all the nations that they conquered, all those lands that they conquered? And where do we find this?
How are they transporting the salt?
Most of the
How are
salt's in
they
mountain.
transporting the
Yeah. How do they transport this salt? Oh wow.
Yes,
Oh
what
wow.
towns grew because of the salt? You
Mm-hmm.
know, a town like a country like Angola,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Angola means a salt trading post,
Okay. That's so. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So then a country like Mozambique, their
Mm-hmm.
currency, it's called, I think, Michal or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Their currency is what we used to call the shekels, where they would use the weighing system,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you get a bar of silver, you weigh it. So you weigh it, that is what would be the measuring tool. It was by weight,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Wow.
Mozambique adopted that name of their currency. If you look up Mozambique currency name, it's called
Wh-
Michal. It is from the same what we would call Ashkelon in these
Okay.
days, because Ashkelon was trading like
Yes.
that because it has that medium of trade, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ngola the same. Ngola means salt trading is town. It
Mm.
was the prevalent thing that was trading. Right? So if these guys say the Romans were there, so what were they trading?
Yeah, and we
With
clearly,
what?
to your point, we are looking at different kind of Romans, and then
Yeah.
even to there's a elder Pastor Melo. I don't know if you ever came across him. He's from Angola actually,
Yes,
and he talks about
yes,
in his
yes,
book. He talks about the how linguistically the Romans were made the Bantu because the Bantu language
yes,
has a lot of, I mean, Latin has a lot of words borrowed from Bantu languages. And so it makes no sense. That's actually another evidence to point out. There's so much, and he provides this in his book where so much information
yes,
in Bantu languages linguistically that proves that the encounter between the Romans and the Bantu prior to the slave trade. You know.
yes. And you know what's funny? When you go
Mhm.
to the history of the Bible, right?
Yes.
King James wasn't the first one. Before King James, you get the Geneva Bible, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And then you go to the
Septuagint.
Latin,
Yeah. Yeah. Many other stuff. Yeah.
right? The
Yeah.
Latin, why they didn't want the people to translate. Why? Because they had, when you look at the King James, he asked, I think, 13 brothers, the Canterbury guys, to translate from the original. What
Mm-hmm.
were they translating it from?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the something like the Misha text, the
Mm-hmm.
Misha steel stone, which is from 984 BC, what they call the Moabite stone.
Okay.
I can tell you this is a local language
Mm.
because it points out where Moab is, who Moab is, because it's their language. If now I speak Kikamba, how are you going to tell me Kikamba is in Turkey? What is it doing there?
Right. Right.
It's a
Right. Right.
mother tongue.
I agree. I
It's
agree.
so
Mm.
they have been hiding this, especially on the. If you look at now how they were doing, and this didn't take long. It's between 1850 and 1950 where this all this mumbo jumbo happened. Because
Yeah,
even
yeah.
the Bible story is not 1,000 years old.
It's the Renaissance story that rewrote all of history to fit white, the
Yeah.
white agenda. And I
It's
think all the information that
probably
we, and I think
500.
that's what I like about this platform is that we have to have this conversation. We have to have this, especially as
Yeah,
being whether we call the intellect, the people with the knowledge, the Mosai is providing knowledge, pouring his knowledge into his people. And I think it's important that we have these discussions in a platform, in a space where it's not in a argument, in a debate, but mostly just allowing conversation
yeah,
to be had so that people can be able to receive knowledge. And I think because otherwise there's so much misinformation out there. And I
yeah,
strongly believe that with the knowledge that is being provided from the four corners, right, that the Mosai is pouring into his people, that those are all puzzles that comes together. And I think and so
yeah,
so understanding, having the knowledge, right, of the land, of the and the linguistic also, some people are good in linguistics, some people are good in geography, in botany, and all
yes,
of these other works, skills. I think we can really be able to bring home something really concrete, something powerful that is important within the awakening of our
yeah,
people. And so I appreciate you for being able to provide, and you provided a great insight in terms of just the geography of the land and understanding where
yeah,
what is and why it's important to have to you talk about you talk about the compass, right? How they're using a compass to understand exactly what is where, and to be able to find points, right? You have to be able to
the
find
difference.
uh, almost compelling evidence, not just to believe
Yeah,
at face value what somebody says, but to actually be able to research
yeah,
and to know, is this, if yes, am I one because I'm from, and this is the point that I want to say. You were saying this location is in Tanzania. I want people to know that you are not
yes,
Tanzanian, Brother Nick. Brother Nick is Kenyan,
yeah,
by colonial borders.
yeah,
He's not, so him saying that this is in Tanzania, he's not claiming it for himself because he's Tanzanian. Like, so, because there's a lot of that narrative where people are claiming
yes,
things because they're from a
yeah,
region, they want to claim everything to be there because they're closed-minded to that particular region. But Brother Nick has done an extent of going outside of his own region, his what is described his own homeland, to be able to even find this evidence in this other region. So I think that's very that's what we need. We need people
yeah,
that are open to knowledge all over
yeah,
the place so that we can be able to, we are all one people. And I like that you say that we are we're not different tribes. We are one nation, that it doesn't matter if you're in Tanzania, if you're in Congo, if you're in Kenya, if you're in Angola, or you are in South Africa, bro, we are all one people. And the reason why that's what I'm saying, that's the reason why this platform, I'm inviting all of you, everybody from any tribe
mhm,
or geographic location, please share your information. Your information is not to combat what somebody else. So your information is to support, is to bring another light, another layer of
yeah,
understanding to the conversation, so that we can all grow into a common understanding. Let's remember that this whole discussion we had today, to Brother Mutavi's point, is it's about the law. It's about returning to the Father, keeping His laws, and seeking His face. And then the Bible in Second Chronicles says
mhm,
what? That if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and turn away from the wicked ways and from all the lies and all the deception we've been told, and return to his word, his commandment, then he will heal our land, and he will restore our
yes,
people, and he will bring us back to what we call to Zion, back to the land, back to the Holy Land. And I strongly believe that as we continue to awaken, as you continue to awaken, the Most High will continue to reveal more and more to you. Because remember, you cannot give a baby the food that's meant for an adult.
yeah,
The baby has to eat baby food, but then the baby has to be born first before they can even start eating human food.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So it's layers, and I think
Very
that,
true,
but the
very
more
true.
you allow the Most High to reveal His true knowledge to you, the more He will continue to elevate you and elevate you, and you will start looking back and, man, there was a time when I used to believe that stuff, man. I'm no longer eating from that. I'm the Most High has elevated, but then that supposed to humble you enough see where other people are and be able to help them get, or even pray for them, or encourage them,
Yes.
or teach them, or like what Brother Mutavi is doing is wrote a book so that he can help other people get the knowledge that he's been given. It's not to stay
Yeah.
with you, it's not to stay with me, it's so that we can
No.
all know, and we can all be in the same at the same level with the Father, and in the awakening work together. And that will not
Yeah.
happen until we're able to speak out the truth that the Most High has revealed to us, the revelations that we've
Yeah.
been given, the knowledge and the insight. So if you're an elder, if you're a young man with education, if you're a person that has traveled a lot, if you have knowledge, you've written a book or published a book, you have whatever knowledge the Most High has provided you with, is very important for other people too. And so you are invited to share and speak, and be able to feed us all with what the Most High has for us. So that's all I wanted to. I don't know if there's any one last word that Brother Mutavi would like to add in conclusion. Just before, I don't want to leave. If you have anything particular you wanted to say
No,
out,
I think
that
the
one.
scripture says something very interesting. My people perish
Mm-hmm.
for lack of knowledge, not lack of fasting, not lack of
Mm.
worship 24/7, or lack of going to the church. No, it says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge.
Mm.
Knowledge is awareness,
Mm.
right? This information you are bringing is so that it can bring awareness.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say my people perish because of lack of fasting.
Mm.
It's
Right.
the knowledge.
That's true. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just the knowledge.
Mm.
The knowledge is the word.
The knowledge is the word.
Word.
That's very true. That's very true. Thank you so much, brother
Oh,
Mutavi, brother
thank you
Nicholas
so much.
Mutavi. I appreciate you being with us today, and I pray that the Most High increase
Sure.
you, and that He continue to open the doors for you, continue to reveal to His knowledge, but also continue to humble you to be able to be willing to share that knowledge with other people and elevate you
Yeah.
to the point where He wanted you to be, right, in this awakening. So I pray that for you, and I
Thank
pray that
you.
your family is well too. And I
Yeah.
hope to. This is not the last time we have the conversation.
Oh, yeah. We are going to Sinai for sure.
All right, let's go to Sinai, brother. All right, have a good day.
Okay. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers, bye.
Thank you for joining us. For more insightful content, like, subscribe, and follow us on social media. Stay tuned for more exciting explorations.
Get the book Sunset to Sunset, Our Bantu Calendar, and discover more about Bantu people's culture, languages, spirituality, and migration history as evidence to prove without a shadow of a doubt that Bantu people are the original biblical Israelites. Learn about the original timekeeping of the ancient calendar of Sabbaths, new moons, and feast days, as these factors unveil the true location of the Promised Land. Find the book on Amazon and on YouBuy for people in Africa.
Would you like to walk in the appointed times of the Most High? Download the Bantu Biblical Calendar app, free at www.bantu.biblicalisraelites.com.